Everybody, welcome to Music in American Society. My name is Mr. Glossinger, and I'm so excited that you've decided to join this class this year. Really quick, before I forget, this is our class website, and I want to show you on here. If you could join our Google Classroom, right? You just go over here, click that button, and it'll take you right to our classroom, and it'll plop you right in there with all the kinds of documents, including this very presentation. So go ahead and check that out before I forget. Now, this is our classroom here right below me. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to meet in this classroom, maybe for this quarter, maybe for a little bit longer, but there's a dorky looking picture of me where I would be normally, and a random clip art picture of a student that probably doesn't look anything like you. But just know that even though we're not able to meet together, that I'm so excited to get to have you in class this semester. So 5 questions that I'm going to answer for you in this really quick YouTube video. Who is this random guy that I'm stuck with for a little while, if you don't know me already? What's this class going to be about? How's the class going to work? How's grading going to work? And then what are you supposed to take care of next? So a little bit about me in case you don't know me. My name is Daniel. I've lived all over in Ghana and Tennessee and Missouri and Indiana and places. I love teaching. I love music. I love all kinds of different materials and reading. Most of all, I really like getting to interact with you. So I'm really excited that you've decided to take this class with me. We haven't been able to offer this class in years and years, so of course there's a global pandemic when it happens. Because of that circumstance, right, I'm gonna have class mostly from my basement, and right above me is actually my dog, and he usually takes naps during the day, but if he decides to make himself known, that's what it is. And sometimes you might also hear from my partner, Julie. So a little bit about this class. It's going to be a history of music in American society from the Civil War to the present day. Maybe a little bit of music theory, but that's really designed to help us understand the music rather than actually get into music theory that much. And the big overarching question is, what can 30 genres of music and 300 plus songs tell us about where we've been and where we're going? There are 3 course goals. Number 1 is analyze music as historical evidence. So we're going to be thinking about music as kind of a text in a way. Second, we're going to think about what's going on in the world and in America when this music is created. Who's this music created for? Who's the audience? What's the purpose? What's the point of view, right? And then finally, we're going to compare and contrast music. We're going to say, how is it similar? How is it different? How does it stay the same over time? That's called continuity. And how does it change? Now, you might want to know, like, specifically, what are those genres in music, right? So in the first unit, it's going to be about what we call Jim Crow America, this period of time in American history where there was massive inequality in terms of race and gender. And we're going to look at a lot of folk music, pop music, blues, and jazz in that genres. Then we're going to switch to the second unit, America in the Depression and World War II, and you can see some of the genres we'll be taking a look at. For each one of these, we're going to talk about what's going on in America, what's the society of America looking like, just as much as we talk about the music itself. And these are some of those musicians we're actually going to learn about in those first couple of units. How the class is going to work. Before I get into that, obviously you've got the 3rd, 4th, and 5th units listed there. We're going to get all the way to the present day with music and see how can that inform where we're going maybe in this country. How the class is going to work. Before each class and around, the couple of days before it, I'm going to ask that you listen to some music, right, before the class. And that just gets you familiar with what are the sounds that we're going to be thinking about. I've made a listening guide that has little details about each song so that as you're listening, right, all you got to do is just read over that listening guide and kind of process what are you hearing. During class, it'll be a quick lecture with a little Q&A about the genre and history. We'll play some songs for you, we'll listen to it, and then we'll break off into smaller groups where you have a chance to really go in depth on 1 or 2 songs and think about what's that music telling us about American society. Usually that's going to take about 10 or 15 minutes. We'll come back together as a whole class, share out what we talked about, and then you'll be free to go listen to even more music, right? So it's thinking about how does music talk to us about American society. Each week, I'm going to ask that you write a quick reflection that addresses one of those 3 course goals. So that's analyzing music as evidence. It's what's the historical context of that music, and comparing and contrasting. So just one of the goals each week. Now, in terms of grades, that's what your grade's going to be based on, is those 5 reflections on each of the 3 goals. So you're going to have a total of 15 reflections that you make. And there's going to be, like I said, basically the same 3 things 5 times. You're going to earn scores of 1 to 4 on each reflection. In this class, we're not going to use percentages, actually. So the whole percentage grading system, none of that's going to really apply. You're going to get just 1 to 4. And if you turn it in by the due date, you can revise it and get a better score. Your average score on those reflections for each of the goals is 1/3 of the grade. So, right, you get 3 goals, each one's worth 1/3. At the end of each unit, I'll convert those into letter grades using the example grade book that's linked below. So if you want to know exactly how that's going to work, play around with that example grade book. And the idea here is, again, I have to give you letter grades because that's what the school wants, but the whole purpose of this is really trying to get you to push your thinking to get to that level 3, level 4. Now, what to do next? If you haven't joined the classroom, go ahead and do that right now, right? Join the classroom, click the link, get on there on the class website. Second thing would be check out the weekly schedule. And this is going to tell you where we're going actually for the whole semester. And I haven't quite finished all the playlists and everything in here, but just to familiarize you with what we're looking at here. Let me zoom in just a little bit. On the green places, right, we're going to have 55-minute classes. We're all going to meet together, and then we're going to break into small groups and individual work time. On the purple days, we're going to have those short little classes. We're all going to meet together, and it's probably just going to be some introductions and some basic stuff. And on the blue days, we aren't going to have class, but your job is to take care of listening to some music, right? So there you can see listening day 1.1 is actually what you need to be doing on this Thursday. We're going to kind of go over some more details on Wednesday. And the very first day where we're going to talk about music is going to be this Friday. On the right are the assignments that are due. So you can see that for most weeks, it's just, hey, take care of that reflection. That's also linked in Google Classroom. Now, the last thing that I want you to do is listen to some music. I've made some playlists for you. And if you click on these here, you can see there's a whole playlist of music about origins of American music and work music and Tin Pan Alley and vaudeville and country blues. So check out some music, right? And if you want to know where to start, check out Music 1.1. Anyways, I wanted to just tell you again, I'm so excited that you're in class this year, and I'm looking forward to see you. See you soon.